Hello and welcome to this video. It is going to be on adding and subtracting fractions, and this is for GCSE, but it's kind of helpful for anyone really. So let's get to start at the basics, which I'm sure most of you already know, but it's always good to set a good foundation. So here we have a fraction, and on the top it's the numerator and on the bottom is the denominator, and as you see here we have a half, and that can be illustrated over here as half of this circle is green. But I'm sure most of you already know this, so let's just skip ahead to the actual adding and subtracting them, which sort of kind of gets confusing. But let's just look at a simple example. So this is how it looks simply. So as you can see, 2 slices of pizza added 1 slices of pizza equals 3 slices of pizza. So we could write this out as we got 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 2 slices of pizza out of 6. So we have 2 out of 6. And 2 is the numerator and 6 is the denominator. And so we want to add that to 1 out of 6. So if we just write that out, and as you know, as both of the denominators are the same, it means that we can simply just add them together. So 2 plus 1 is 3, so 3 goes on the top, and we don't add these two, we just keep them the same as they're the same denominator. So that's 3 out of 6, which you could also say is a half. Okay, so that's a simple example, which I'm sure most of you could just do by eye, but let's go on to the stuff that actually takes into account the actual adding of them. So here we go. This is sort of harder to actually see, and it would be a lot harder to just literally just add the slices. So here we have, let's just write this out. So we got 2 out of 3. So we got 2 out of 3, and here we've got 1 out of 4. And we want to add them together, and as you can see, the denominators are not equal. So let me just illustrate what you would do. So I'm going to just draw it out first, just so you know what we're doing before I show you what algebra you need to do. So as you can see, what we need to do now is make every single segment of the pizza or of the circle the same width as on both. So let me just get this out of the way. So as you can see, 2/3 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 8 out of 12 is the same as 2/3. So let me just do 8 out of 12, and we add that to, we've got 1, 2, 3 out of 12. And as now the denominators are the same, it means that we can easily answer this. So using our common knowledge, that's just you add the top together, add the numerators together. So that's 8 plus 3, which is 11. And on the bottom, we don't add the denominators because they're equal. So we just leave it at 12. And let me just draw this out for you. So, oh, my bad. And that is what it will look like. As we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the red, 9, 10, 11 all together, and 3 of the blue. So let's, as you can see, you're not always going to get it drawn out like this. So we want to know how to just do this bit up here without the help of a diagram. So on the next page, we're going to do the same example which we have. So let's do, it was 2 over 3 plus 1/4. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to make the denominators the same, these things. So the way we do that is we times them both together. So 3 times 4 is 12. So if we do 12 at the bottom of this fraction and 12 at the bottom of this fraction, now both denominators are the same. And now, how many times did we times this 3 by 4 to turn it into 12? Well, we times this 3 by 4 to turn it into 12. So you must times this 2 by 4 also. So then you times 2 by 4, you times these two together, and that makes 8. And then you do the opposite here. So we times, how many times did we times 3 to get in? How many times did we times 4 to get into 12? We times it by 3. So 3 times 1, which is that one. So 3 times 1 is 3. And simply, we just add them together like we did in the last page. So 3 plus 8 is 11 out of 12. And that's the same example. Now I'm just going to do one more example of adding, and we're just going to do some, let's just do some random numbers so that it sort of helps us. So let's just do a hard one, 18 times 76, 18 out of 76, sorry. And let's say 3 out of 16. They're totally random numbers I've just picked out of the air. So what we're going to need is definitely a calculator, because you wouldn't be expected to do this but on higher paper, and it would be kind of hard because it's got a lot of time things together. So first thing we want to do is make the denominators the same. So 76 times 16 is 76 times 16 is 1216. That's quite a large number. So 1216 on the bottom of this one, and 1216 on the bottom of this one. And we're adding, so we just carry on that. And then how many times do we times 76 to get into 1216? We times it 16 times. So then we do 18 times the 16, which is also a large number, which is 288. And then how many times did we times the 16 to get into 1216? We times it by 76 times. So then we do 76 times 3, which is, so we're timesing everything on here by 76. So 3 times 76 is 288 as well. And I've just realised I've gone wrong, sorry. On my last calculation I wrote the wrong one in. And it is, what we want to do is 16 times 18. And 16 times 18 is, oh my god, that is very, I'm sorry, I did not go wrong. I was just, the numbers are exactly the same. That's very odd. I've just picked both of those fractions somehow are exactly the same, but you can see where we are going. So then we just simply add the top ones together. So for our thing, we just times them by 2. So that's 576 divided by the denominators, which we do not add as they're the same. So we just write it, we carry it through. So 1216, and that is the answer to that question. So as you want to know, you're probably wondering, how do we subtract fractions? So it is exactly the same. So let's just pluck out 2 more random numbers. So let's just do 10 out of 17, and let's make it half, just so we don't have to do these big calculations. So we want to do the same thing. We want to get the same denominator. So what we're going to do is times 17 by 2. So 17 by 2 is 34. So there's the same denominator, the common denominator on both. Sorry about this. And 34 here. And then what we want to do now is, how many times do we times 17 to get into 34? We times it by 2. So we want to do 2 times 10, which is 20. And then we want to do, how many times do we times 2 to get into 34? We times it by 17. So then we do 17 times 1, which is 17. And now, as you can see, we can do carry the subtraction down. And here, we just simply subtract the numerators. So 20 minus 17 is 3. And we don't subtract the denominators, we keep them the same. So that's 34. And there's 34. So I think that just sums up everything we've got to have to know about adding and subtracting fractions. Let's just quick run through. So we've got numerator, denominator. Just remember, it's easy to illustrate it. If you see one that has common denominators at the bottom, you won't necessarily have to times them together, but it makes more sense just to do it, just for practice. But here we go. So I believe that is all we need to know for adding and subtracting fractions. So thanks for watching. If you want to see a full list of all of the videos that I have, go down to GCSE-Maths.com. And this is adding and subtracting fractions, and thank you.